Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Good morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday. I put on my morning update screenshot thing that I do over on Telegram. It's a rinse and repeat Tuesday because it's going to be humid, chance of rain, warm, just like it was yesterday. Oh my goodness. Hey, this is episode 75. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Episode 75 for the Holstein House broadcast. I would have never thought that I would get to 75. Now, I always kind of couch that, and maybe I shouldn't, you can get back into that whole, women rationalize and justify, men just do, but doing these twice a week, and this is episode 75. That's to me, it's a big deal. I've often thought maybe I should back it off and just make the lives once a week. That would give me more time to do some other stuff. But then, what happens is you free up time and you fill that time with stuff. But I am really excited to be here today again. I always am, even if I'm having a rough day or am just frustrated or not feeling real good. I really am glad to be here. And I'm glad that you guys stop over and watch, whether you're able to catch it live or you catch it on on a replay later. Maybe you don't see it for weeks. I really appreciate that you do watch it, and I hope that you will share it and tell your friends about it and join the conversation. You can comment, even after the fact. And of course, I get notified that there are comments there, and I try to get back and at least acknowledge all of them in some way, shape, or form. Now, sometimes people are just mean and they just put dumb stuff up there, or it's a bot, or it's irrelevant, somebody trying to advertise or something. But, for the most part, I do try to respond to any comments that are posted, even over on Fountain, over on the podcasts and stuff. When I get notified, I do try to respond in some manner. So please don't think I'm ignoring you if I don't get back right away. It may just be that the notification hasn't gotten to me yet. You'll have that sometimes. I'm kind of preoccupied a little bit on this one. I had a request to do some notary work at a hospital, and the guy's coming up from Georgia for power of attorney with his mom. She's in the hospital, and I tried 4 times to respond to that request. It was an email request, and I've tried 4 times to reply back, and it just bounces. And there's no way to reach this person. He did not. It says that it's from his iPhone. He doesn't give me a phone number or anything to try to reach back out to him. So he's out there somewhere thinking that, I don't want to work with him, and I don't want to, help him out. And it's just that I can't get back to him. I haven't figured out, I don't see a phone call from him from anywhere. I don't see a voice message from anywhere. That would be, I don't see anything anywhere that this person has tried to reach me anyway, other than that email. And I don't, there's nothing I can do. So I see, I don't know what that is. Junk voicemail. I haven't I still need to switch my cell phone service. I haven't done it yet. That's not on the list for things to do today. I need to do it when Mr. Holstein's home. He's usually only home on the weekends. Well, I mean, he's home of the night. I don't just meant in order for us to go over and make our telephone switches and stuff. The weekends would be the only time to do it. And right this time of year when the grass is growing, well, really weekends are tough. We're just busy. We're just busy. Um, we do make time to goof off now and again when we want to. But we just don't get into a whole lot of stuff these days because we're kind of where we want to be. We can goof off when we want to and still yet have responsibility for some of the things that we've got. But let me get back on track. Episode 75. If you have the Telegram app, Holstein House has a group. It's t.me/Holstein House, all one word, Holstein House. And I do get some spam over there. People trying, just you get the one words, for people trying to connect and spam you. So I do try to get that out of there. But you're more than welcome to come over and join us and see what we talk about. It's not really, I mean, we have daily conversations, but they're not real deep at this point. We're just kind of saying hey and talking a little bit about what's going on. But that's t.me/Holstein House. But, if ever comes a time, I was watching I wasn't watching them, I was listening to some YouTube programs over the weekend that, try to help you learn the nuances of using YouTube and the statistics and stuff, because I've never been a statistics person. And they got to talking about, the back and forth between, oh, if you use foul language, you're going to be demonetized. And then they're going back years and years and years. They'd almost have to be using an app of some sort in my opinion, to go back and, demonetize things from years ago. Of course, I'm not monetized, so I'm not worried about it yet. But I know I've seen some of the other folks that I follow talk about, because they were kind of potty mouth, but they're very brilliant people. But even with their potty mouth issue, that I listened to them, and they were talking about, we just got notified of a video from about 3 years ago that was demonetized, and the frustration that's involved with that, and that rolled into some conversations of, well, what happens when they take you down, like Dan Bongino, they took him off. Well, they were getting ready to take him off, and he just quit and went over to Rumble. And where can you find them? How do you do that? I used to have a very active email list. I kind of let that fall away, and I keep thinking about trying to bring that back. I've just got my hands. I've tried Substack. I did real well with Substack for a while, but my lifestyle is just so erratic that it's just so hard to do those things on a regular basis. And it's been that way for a while now, mostly because, no, I don't want to blame it on my parents or anything like that. But when I have decided, and I did many, many years ago, when my mother was still with us, and she was starting to get more sick more frequently, I decided that there was nothing more important besides the husband and my son than my parents. And I would stop whatever, didn't matter what it was. And if people didn't like it too bad, to take care of them. And I continue that. I make no apologies for it. It's just a statement that sometimes things can get erratic, because sometimes you get appointments, and sometimes you get emergencies, and sometimes real life happens. And my position in our families is one of a responsible person who will take them to the doctor, will follow up with the doctors, will help them with their medications, will do those kind of things. And that's where I'm at. The guest that just left this morning, we were kind of talking about that a little bit. And I said, this is the stage of life that I am in. My father will be 83 in a couple months. And, I'm just right about a month. August the 4th, he'll be 83. And I'll drop everything for him. I make no apologies for it. And my son is grown and living in Virginia. I don't have any grandchildren. So this is, and of course my husband, but he's fine. We're fine that way. But this is where I'm at. This is the stage of my life that I'm in. I am not the eldest person in our family, but I am reaching that level of responsibility. I'm struggling for words because I didn't really think this out very well. But so I have a schedule, but it's going to change from time to time. And I'm not going to make any apologies. And that makes it difficult to have a steady, regular broadcast and or email, which is where I started this with, or email or TikTok or Clapper, all those other things, regular content publication. It makes it hard because these are the responsibilities that I have, and I'm going to do that. But I said all that to say this: if you want to find me on social media, if you want to contact me, if you want to see the kind of things that I'm doing, you can go to robinholstein.com and go to the contact page, and there will list all of the different social media sites and things and ways, and you can sign up for a newsletter, which I don't have going actively at this point, but should probably be working on that some more this summer. It's like I need another thing to do. But you can find me there. So if for some reason I just disappear off YouTube, say, and you don't see anything for weeks and weeks and weeks on YouTube, and you wonder, well, what's going on? You should be able to find out over there on the contact page at robinholstein.com. I've cut back on like interactions like on Facebook. So I'm still on Facebook. I still post some things on Facebook, but I don't sit and have the conversations and the connections and the things that I used to do over there. I've kind of backed off that a little bit. It's just it's a phase. It's a phase, and I've rotated through that phase, and I'm looking at other projects now and other things. So that's where I said all of that. I spent all that hour and a half on that just to tell you, hey, go to robinholstein.com and check the contact page if you want to find me. But yeah, I'm on. I do have content. I do have accounts on YouTube on Fountain.fm, and I need to get get that updated. I'm missing a broadcast. I'm missing Friday. I didn't get Fridays posted. Noster, Rumble, TikTok, Clapper, Facebook, Instagram, MeWe, Freesteading, Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart. I think there's a couple other, and Noster. I do have a Noster Pubkey, and I haven't done a Noster Nest in a while. And what I found the last time I did it is when I tried to simultaneously run a Noster Nest while I was recording or broadcasting here. It was locking up my little laptop, and I just decided I just couldn't. It was more frustration in doing that. What I need to do is a separate Noster Nest. Then you get into chipping away at time to do that. And one of the benefits of using StreamYard is that I can split audio off, and I can record this, and I can split the audio off and podcast it. I can take the video and I can chop it up, which I'm not very good at doing because I just don't sit down and do this stuff like I should. And it just runs into, again, time, and we all have 24 hours in a day, and I just have more than my fair share of things to do in that 24 hours. And I'm a sleep person. I have to have sleep. I don't function very well without sleep. I can have a disruption in my sleep for a few days, but after that, I'm just nodding off every chance. If I stand still, I just nod off. And these are things that I've learned about myself. I also learned many years ago that I could tolerate an overtime situation when I was working for the state, and we would have flood disasters. And I would be working at the emergency office down in the Capitol, the EOC. I could do about 6 weeks of that before I just absolutely lost my mind. So I could work overtime more than an 8-hour day, 12, 15-hour days for about 6 weeks, and then I just would lose my mind. I just couldn't do it anymore. So that didn't happen too often, but the times that it did, I was really able to figure out that's where I'm at. So, well, let's get this conversation started because you're not here for my good looks, are you? Hello, Tori, the mom. How are you? How are you? I just flipped the page over and saw that. I still had it set on the brand for the intro music. I didn't get my page turned around there. Glad to see you over there. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, the porch rails. I'm happy to report for those of you who did not know, the porch rails are up. They look good. It took months. We will give, let's just say, calendar wise, it took 4 months. But let's just say that it took 3 because there were some supply chain issues. And where did it go? I was going to show you a picture of the rails. It's right there, but why isn't StreamYard playing nicely with me? Here, let me do it this way. I think it's this one. This is what it looks like from the street. That is what it looks like from the street. This is PVC clad. I'm going to use the word clad because it's not like you take Rust-Oleum and dip it in there. Steel. He didn't have to cut these the full size rails here. He just had to assemble the rails and assemble the top banister there and attach them here. Now these on the angle on the stairs, he had to cut those. He had to cut those at an angle each and every one. He had to measure those and measure the angle and do trigonometry or whatever kind of math it is you do for that. And let's see, will it automatically share this one when I change? Yeah, it did. This is looking, if you're standing just in front of the front door looking to your left, that's the swing I set in when I do a lot of the morning things. This is one it's hard to tell here because of the all that green, but that's one of those hanging strawberry plants. So I am actually very happy with the job he did. I am. This is another version of. Oh no, that's the ducks. Let's go back here. We'll talk about the ducks later. I am actually happy with the job he did. It does not look like he tried to rush and do just a hurry up and get it done job because, she's aggravating me to death. And that's Betty, by the way, if you didn't already know, that's Betty. I am very, very pleased with the job that he did. I opted for this. Now, I remember in December, he came and this column here, the way you're looking at the screen, it should be on your left. I think it'll be on your left. I don't know if you can see the cursor there going around. But this is the column that was collapsing after the Christmas freeze. So we had several days of freezing weather and then a sudden thaw. This one gave way, and I got a hold of the very same contractor, and we went, Mr. Holstein and I went and purchased these columns, and I asked him, I said, I have them. Can you put them up? He came and he got them up right away. So for the longest time, we had no rails. Then there were issues. And what I ended up having to do after several months was contact him and say, look, you're either going to get these done or we're going to small claims court. Good morning, Jan. Good to see you. Good morning, Carla. Good to see you too. Uh-oh, she's got a pukey face there. That's what that looks like. Is that a pukey face or is that a Carla or is that a mountain with the sun behind it? I cannot tell what that is there. Rails and babies look great. Yes, them babies. I'll be talking about them some more here in just a minute. I'm glad to have you guys all there. So I told him, I messaged him and I said, you're going to have this porch done spot because he told me he had the materials, but I was always every couple of weeks having to ask him, "What's going on? Where are we with this?" And I'm having trouble picking them up. They're not in yet. They are in. I've got to go get them. I mean, there's just all kinds of different reasons he was giving me. Oh, it's a mountain with the sunshine behind it. Thank you, Carla. I'm sorry, it's so small on my screen. It just kind of, it might be because I'm not looking actually into Facebook. I'm looking at the feed through StreamYard. So it's a lot smaller image there. So it's hard to tell. But I did have to contact him and I said, it's just been way too long. I was always having to drag the information out of him every couple of weeks. That was something an attorney many, many years told me. I had a case for something totally unrelated to this, and this was with the first husband. He said, be sure and call me once a week or once every 2 weeks so that I have to pull your file out from underneath the stack. Because what'll happen, you pull the file, look through everything, lay it down. Next case, next case, next case. And it will always have to pull your case up. So I was trying to give this contractor, time. I didn't want to hassle him. I was trying to give him time. It wasn't life or death. The house wasn't going to fall down without them. But it got more aggravating and more aggravating. And some of you guys have been listening and and finally, I just told him last Monday, a week ago yesterday, I said, either it's done by 6 p.m. on Friday, the 23rd of June, 2023, and done properly, or we're going to small claims court Monday morning. He brought the materials over that morning and put them in the yard. And I thought, oh, here we go. Is he just going to walk away from it now and say, here, you've paid me enough to cover the materials? But no, he did show up on Friday morning with a helper. He worked all day with the exception of a lunch break. I didn't go out and bother them. I saw them through the Ring doorbell. I saw that they'd pulled up. I saw that they'd started working. Of course, when I was doing the show last Friday, you probably heard some of the noise as they were using sawzalls and stuff out there, banging and stuff. But I left him alone. And then when the job was finished, Mr. Holstein went out and looked and talked to him for a minute and then stuck his head in and said, do you need to pay him? And I said, yes, I do. And I went out and I looked around. I said, this looks very nice. And he apologized. He says, I'm so sorry it's taken this long. And I thought, I bet you are. But I didn't say it. And I said, well, I'm sorry it's taken this long too. I understand things can get hectic and I'm sure you understand why I had to take the position I took, which means threatening you with going to court. I don't know that it will be a long time before I call him for work. And it's not a quality issue. It's just that it shouldn't take this long for that project. And you shouldn't have to drag the information out of them. And what ended up happening, the original estimate on the porch had a different type of rails. And so the original estimate on the porch was a lot higher. And so I gave him a lot more towards that. And so the percentage that I gave him was closer to half of the entire cost. And you don't normally do that. You give them part of it here and part of it there. But so I ended up not owing him very much at all. The only thing I owed him for was the labor on Friday. So, but it shouldn't have taken all of that. It shouldn't have taken all that. All right. So moving on from there, I am under contract to have the roof on the little doghouse replaced. I had a guy come out, was it 2 weeks ago, I think? And he looked at it and he gave me an estimate. It's a good estimate. I'm okay with it. I forgot I had another guy scheduled to come give me an estimate. He showed up yesterday. He did text me and said he was running behind, and I thought, what? Oh, no. So he came out. He didn't give me a number at that point, but he talked about what all needed to be done. It sounded very similar to what the other guys have said, and I'm thinking he's probably going to come in a little higher. But I've already signed the contract with the one guy, and I'll just tell the other guy, thank you. I'll consider it and be done with it. But that should start next week. That roof work should start on the 5th of July. I don't know what the weather looks like between now and then, but I'm just the pattern that we're in right now. I think it's going to be just frustrating to get that done because of the rain. But hopefully they'll have enough people get that taken care of. The front half of the building is in fair shape. I mean, all the shingles need replaced. That's a no-brainer. They all need replaced. But the front half of the building, any of the sheeting underneath, I doubt that it's bad. I don't climb up on that stuff, so I haven't. But from what I've been told by the other people that have looked at it, the front half of the place looks fairly good. It's the back half that is leaking. We know this. It's leaking down inside. It's got a hole in the roof, that kind of stuff. So that back half is going to be needing the most work. But I think we're going to be good there. So once we get that roof repaired, then we can really, I think, I may be wrong, but I think we can make some good headway on getting that habitable again. And I was touching on Friday, I really believe I'd like to put a Murphy bed in there. And so that it's up out of the way when I'm not using it for a guest or rental or whatever I'm going to use it for. And then, pull it down when somebody comes to stay and wants to use that space. Let's see. Let me show you the babies again. Let me show you the babies one more time. The ducklings are 6 weeks old now. This was taken a few days ago, and hopefully you can see that a little better. But they are 6 weeks old. They're still acting very young. The daddy duck, I mean, he's really the daddy. He's the only male duck I have. He's still chasing them, and I don't know if this is just because I don't get it. I don't get it. He has been in the right there from the time they were she nested them to the time they hatched to all of it. I mean, and he has, since they've been coming out of the coop, he has been chasing them. And I don't know if he's trying to catch them to mate or to go through those motions, because in ducks and things, that motion is a way of showing dominance. So I don't know if it's that or not. Did you see that? I hope you saw that, because I don't know. Did you see that? Did it show up? I think it didn't. I think you didn't get to see the ducks. There they are. There they are. Sorry. That's what I get for not checking real quick. So they're about 6 weeks old. Those of you on the audio only, these are pictures of the ducklings. Hey, Hunter. Good morning. Glad to have you stop in. I'm sorry you can't hang out too long. Maybe you can pick up the replay later. Yeah, the ducks. Did you, Hunter, if you've got just long enough, did you breed your own ducks? Did you have issues with the male chasing the little ones, even if they were females? I've never bred my own. The ducks that we had from infants, we didn't have males, so it wasn't an issue. This is the only male that I've ever had, and I'm just learning about that. He chases them. Okay, you never bred them, so on the one hand, I want to say I need to get rid of him. On the other hand, if I wanted to try breeding them again, I know he's able to do that. He's proven that way. But on the other hand, if this is part of real life duck life, and he's showing these the youngins that, hey, I'm in charge, and but they're growing, and he hasn't, as far as I can tell, he hasn't hurt them. They're always able to get away from him. Whether this is just I'm in charge, I'm the big guy, you're gonna bow to my whim or whatever. If it's just normal, and as they mature some more, he'll, treat him like the rest of the female ducks. But I just don't. He keeps running them back in. They don't get a lot of yard time, because if he sees them, he's right at them and runs them back in there, and then walks away, all waddly and proud of himself for running them back in. And I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should intervene or if I shouldn't. That's just basically where I'm at. I don't know how to handle it, or if I should just leave them alone. They'll work their own things out. So that's where I'm at on them. Now, the other thing that I want to kind of talk to you about, for those of you who are considering hosting, and I always come back and say Airbnb because that's what I started with. That's the only online travel agent that I'm working with. Um, I really have no desire to start with a VBRO or something like that. Um, I have thought about it, but I just don't know that it's going to be a benefit to me. My experience has been with Airbnb, and that's the direction that I'm gonna bring from here right now on this part of the talk today. If you are considering, and really even if not, if you are considering staying with someone or that has a B&B or an Airbnb, and you just don't know how it works. I want to talk to you a minute about the reservations and the cost and some of the fees and stuff now today. When among the things that you consider uh, to start, and I'm going to come to you from the position of starting or running a B&B, and not from the guest side of the equation. However, you'll understand how being a guest, how it benefits you to direct book. But it's easy to use Airbnb. It's really easy to use it. It's easy just to set it and forget it, and let them do all the heavy lifting. You just upload some images, a detailed description. You click a few boxes about things that you offer, things that are available, some stuff in your immediate area. You set your fees, and so all the hard part, the software updates, the calendar management, the payment collection, guest verification and vetting is all taken care of for you by Airbnb. And there's some insurance. I carry insurance in addition to what Airbnb offers, just because. Just because. But all of that comes with a cost, and those costs are assessed as fees that your guest is going to pay. And I have just done now. I told you I had a guest check out this morning, and I thought, I'm going to use her numbers because they're fresh. They're fresh. They're accurate. They're what I charge, and you'll see exactly, because I hadn't really thought about it for a while. I knew there were fees and stuff, but it was crazy to me when I saw it this morning as I was looking for the numbers to share with you this morning. I've got a window with a spreadsheet on it. I'll show you in just a second, but let me just say this out loud so that those who are on the audio will hear. You are a guest and you're looking at Holstein House on Airbnb, and you're looking to book this next Monday night. Okay, we'll keep it on a Monday since this guest came in yesterday. And you decide, hey, Holstein House is right on my way. I'm traveling through West Virginia on Interstate 6477, the West Virginia Turnpike. And I say it that way because that one section of the turnpike, both of those interstates merge. They travel these many miles together, and then they split off in Charleston. That's why I do it that way, for anyone who doesn't already know. And if you look at a map of West Virginia, highway map and stuff, you'll see that if you're coming through West Virginia to head south, like to Virginia or Virginia or North Carolina or South Carolina or down that way, you see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when my guest booked the room, she paid $72.16. Okay? $72.16. What I charged for that room was $58. Now, I don't split, and we've had this conversation before, I don't split out cleaning fees. There are some Airbnb hosts who will have different categories. They'll show you all the cleaning fees and all this fee and a restocking fee and all these other fees. I don't do that to rationalize my rates. Everything is in this rate, $58, flat out. I'm not, because we've had this conversation before as well. I'm cleaning the room regardless. I'm changing the linen regardless. I'm washing the towels regardless. All of those things are happening. I'm not fixing the breakfast if there's nobody here, but if there's a guest here, there's going to be juice, milk, coffee. There's going to be muffins. There's going to be bread of some sort. Today, I had some conversation with her, and I told her, I said, I'll make a sourdough bowl, and I did. And so she had a sourdough that was just made yesterday, today. So, and stuff like that. So she used the ice maker. She used our water for filtered water for a water bottle. I mean, she sat on the porch. It was all good. But all of that is included in this rate. So she's paying $72.16. Jan says it may be territorial. Do you know what the babies are? Genetic or gender-wise, Jan, I believe we think they're all 4 girls because they don't have any markings of males yet, and they don't have that curly tail feather. It's fairly slope, flat kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't think they're males. They don't look like males. So she paid $72.16 to Airbnb. Of that, there was this thing called a guest service fee of $8.02. I don't know what a guest service fee is, unless that's the price that the guests pay for having an Airbnb account. And so, because there's a fee that the hosts get hit with as well, just for being a host. But now, as a host, they're hosting my site and the pictures, and they're doing all that. So I don't know exactly what the guest service fee is. That's what I think it was. They also hit with $7.30 occupancy taxes. That sounds kind of high to me. I would have to do the math on all of the taxes, business tax and sales tax and that kind of stuff. I don't think I don't know where they get it, unless they're including the fees that they have to pay, because Airbnb reports taxes to the state as a whole, as a lump sum. So I don't hotel occupancy taxes. That just sounds kind of high to me. I don't know. Nevertheless, she had to pay that. So her total fees were $72.16. My room rate, what I charged for that room, was $58. Of that $58, okay, they took $1.16 for nightly rate adjustment. Can't tell you what that is, nightly rate adjustment. It took $1.16 off. Unless I have, and I don't think I have, well, let me take it back. I do have a discount. No, that wouldn't be it, because the discount is based on multiple nights. Anyway, nightly rate adjustment of $1.16, host service fee of $1.71. So I got paid $55.15 out of that original $72.16 that they charged her. So they charged her $72.16. They paid me $55.15. So all in all, there were $17.01 kept by Airbnb just from this one night stay. And they have it split out to make it look like I'm paying part and you, the guest, are paying part. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is you're paying it all. And they're peeling this $17.01 off and calling it all this other stuff and paying me what's left. So I have, let me find that. Now, oh, I got to go back over here. Wait a minute. I need to share that other. No, come on now. Why won't you share that screen? Let me stop sharing. Let me see if I can reshare. There it is. This is there we go. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me do it that way. Now, what I'm showing for those of you guys who may be on the audio, I have a Google sheet that I threw together to show how this all breaks out. I told you this line here is what I just went through with Airbnb. The guest pays $72.16. Taxes are $7.30. A guest service fee is $8.02. A nightly rate adjustment, now that comes out of mine. Nightly rate adjustment is $1.16. Host service fee is also attributed to me, and that's $1.71. So the host payout is $55.15. The guest paid $72.16. The host gets paid $55.15. Now, if that same guest direct books right here, the room rate is $61.60. That includes the taxes. Okay, that's why I have 0 on taxes here. There is no guest service fee. There is no nightly rate adjustment. There is no host service fee. I do have a payment processing fee, which I will get into a little bit more in a minute, but where that comes from. But the host payout is $58.96. So if you are considering doing a BnB or an Airbnb, what I'm trying to tell you is you might start with Airbnb, learn the ropes a little bit, get some practice, but you're going to want to, at some point, be able to offer direct booking. Because with direct booking, you're not chucking away the $17, and that's per guest. Now, that's not like a month. So if you start saying, well, but you've got to have a website, well, you kind of do. You can use Facebook. You could use Facebook and do it that way. But even if you have your own website, you're not paying $17 a day to keep that website up. Even if you're paying for, and I use a program called Free to Book. I'm not an affiliate of theirs. They don't sponsor me, but I use Free to Book. You're not even if you pay them, you're not paying $17 each guest each time they stay. So if I had someone staying every night, I'd be getting hit for $17 every night for every guest that stays. So you want to move and shuffle your pieces. I'm not saying do away completely with your online travel agency subscriptions and stuff, but you want to move more of your bookings to direct book because you're getting all of the money. You're getting it all. They're not peeling it away in these fees and adjustments and stuff. So I just wanted to show that to those of you who are watching live, but for those of you who are on the audio, that was a window, sharing the window of a spreadsheet to show how these fees are broken out. Now, we'll come back here to me, and this is something that you need to be considering. So the guests paid $9.71 more to Airbnb than what they would have paid to me when you get all of these other things in just straight up. So is Airbnb worth $10 a night? Which, we're just doing some rounding here, just some generic rounding. It's not $10 a month. It's almost, it's $10 a night that I'm losing. So this is why I recommend a direct booking. I use the program Free to Book. It's actually based out of the UK. There are other programs like Free to Book, but Free to Book, I come across it through some other organizations, some other Facebook groups and stuff that I'm involved with, and they have a very low cost of entry. So I'm paying about $1 because it's the conversion from the US dollar to the British pound. I'm paying about $1 per booking for them to manage the calendar. So they're also managing the Airbnb calendar. There's other add-on services. Free to Book does not process my payments. Part of the reason they don't process my payment is because they work with the Stripe, STRIPE, Stripe card. I don't have an account with that, and I didn't want to start a new account with that. Stripe would be taking their own fee out of there. I right now use PayPal. So what happens is you direct book, and I invoice you from PayPal. You pay that, and of course PayPal has a fee that they charge as well. But that's a one-time fee. That's not every night. That's not a continuous, based on the number of nights you stay. It's a one-time fee based on that I pay for that. So on a recent direct book that I had, a young lady named Cabell a couple weeks ago, I direct booked her for $61.60, which was taxes included. Of that, PayPal got $2.64. So I actually collected $58.96. There was no other fees involved. So I cleared $3.81 more than I would have with Airbnb. And the guest paid $10.56 less. Because remember, Airbnb with all their fees, the guest paid $72.16, out of which I got 55. So with a direct book, they were paying less. Cabell paid $61.60, and I got $58.96 after the PayPal fee. So I could actually, in theory, charge even more. I could round that up and charge even more, and still my guests would pay less than if they were going through Airbnb. Now that gets back into what's the room worth? What's really the room worth? And I just don't see that it's worth $70 a night. It's a simple room. You've got a shared bathroom. You've got a shared living. The rest of the building is shared. The living room is shared. The dining room is shared. Everything else is shared. You've got your private bedroom. And there's only so much that I can put in that bedroom to offer value to increase these rates. Now, my direct book guests, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, there's some perks. They get some discounts. They get a special breakfast. They get special coffees offered to them that other guests don't get. The chocolate and coffee package that I'm always talking about because it's my favorite one. But it's also a continuous one. It's not holiday dependent, like a Valentine's special or something like that. Airbnb guests are paying more. They don't get that option. So, you'll hear me say, direct book guests, you've got a 10% discount if you use Indy 10 or Indy 5 or Podcast 5. Everybody that hears this can use the promo code Podcast 5 and get 5% off their direct book. Everybody can. I do have one for Facebook, but I haven't ever posted it there because I don't have a lot of reservations coming from Facebook. And I don't discount on Airbnb because they get plenty enough money out the way it is. They don't need to get more of it. And what would happen is I would collect less and they would collect the same numbers as they do now. So if you're considering hosting through Airbnb or one of the others, even, you also need to consider using the direct book and consider the different options to manage your reservations. There are several programs. A lot of them are kind of high, in my opinion, and for what I need them for, because I don't have multiple rooms. I don't have multiple locations, and everything is happening right here in the house. I don't need all of the bells and whistles that are out there. There are a lot of bells and whistles that can benefit you if you want to seriously use Airbnb and host from your home. But it's something you need to consider, and something that if you have questions, message me, and you go to robinholstein.com and go to the contact page and send me a message and ask me any questions that you have. Ask them here. Post them in the comments. I'll get back to you. I'll share what I know. I will share what I know anytime. So let's see. Oh, we're going to start winding down here. We just got a few more minutes. I'm glad to see everybody hanging out, though. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I love it when there's people there, even if you don't have a lot to say. If you're just stopping in and saying hello, I really appreciate it greatly. The front porch vegetables, the strawberry plants are still going nicely. Every morning I've got probably a quarter to a half cup of strawberries, and it doesn't take much to make that. And the tomato plants is kind of lagging, but it's still producing very nicely. My guest yesterday evening came in. She originally was going to go to some of I gave her a list, and she wanted to know about the nicer restaurants in the area, or if there was a darn it. What did she call it? I forget. Anyway, but she wanted to know some of the higher end places to stop, and if there was a farm to table restaurant nearby, and I'm not aware of any. And if that's something that I may look into and see if there are any around. There's some in the outer areas, but there's not any really close. She didn't really want to go far, and I told her really some of the nicer restaurants, Lowry's and Chop House and stuff, are in town. It's about 15 minutes away. So she opted to swing through a Kroger's, pick up a few things, and she sat on the front porch, and she had a book, and she piled up on the swing, and she sat out there for a couple of hours, even through the storm, until the rain was kind of blowing in, and she came in at that point, but she really enjoyed it. She was pleased to be here. She went out and visited with the chickens and the ducks and asked a few questions about that. And she's an old homesteader herself. She said she'd had a 3-acre place many years ago when her kids were young. We got to talk a little bit about natural medicines and stuff, and elderberry and things like that. And she used to make a lot of her own natural remedies and raised her youngin' up on that. So she was pleased that I had the sourdough and had the eggs and the things. And she didn't buy any eggs, but we talked about it. And she was pleased. She was pleased. She says, I can see a lot of the things that you do here, a lot of the things that I have done. So she helped herself to a couple strawberries, which was fine. It's kind of what they're there for. And she made her way out this morning. The backyard garden is slowly coming along. It's happier in the position that it's in now, but I think it might be happier with a little more strong sunlight. The peppers are growing, the tomatoes are growing, but they're not ripening up yet. Even my early girl tomatoes are still kind of green, at least the ones that the chickens haven't eaten. So we talked about the ducklings, the broody hen. I got rid of those eggs. She's still trying to be broody. I keep pulling her out of there and putting her out in the grass and trying to break that, because there's no eggs for her to sit on now. Those eggs did not stay under her the way they needed to develop, so they ended up being disposed of. Let's see. I did harvest some lavender. I have a beautiful lavender plant out front. It's actually in the flower bed that I'm wanting to turn into the vegetable garden. I won't disturb that bad boy. That little thing is just rocking right now, and I trimmed a bunch of lavender off of it yesterday. Got them hanging in the kitchen area to air dry. And I actually have one from last year, a bundle from last year when I first planted it. And I've got it drying. I think I'm going to do some soap. I know Jan was after me here a while back about needing some soap. I haven't made any soap for a while. I need to do that. And I've got my own lavender to put in it. So I'm going to be working on that hopefully before canning season starts for me. So I want to get that done. That's on the schedule. And let's see, we're just about finished up here. There's a lot of stuff going on in the area. I did have a request, someone wanting to come in on Friday morning really early, which was an odd request, and I shared back with, it was just an inquiry, and I shared back that if they wanted to come in that early, because they wanted to come in like at 7 in the morning, I said you would have to book the room the night before, and you wouldn't be able to come in at midnight because we would be in bed, but you'd have to, because otherwise I could have someone here and they're not required to check out till 9. And it could be that you're trying to come in at 7. Well, that cuts the room out from under me. So you would have to book the room the night before. I didn't hear back, and I get it. That's fine. But so we do have availability this weekend if you're quick. If you're quick, and remember, use the promo code podcast5. Go to Holstein House on the menu at robinholstein.com and direct book that, and you can get that discount there. We've got the Mountain State Art and Crafts Festival in Ripley this weekend. We've got the Charleston Stern Wheel Regatta kicking off. We've got the Heritage Farm and Museum Summer Festival. Now that's in Huntington. That's about an hour away, but it's still a great little event to attend. 4th of July celebration in Fairview, one of the oldest running or longest running 4th of July parades in the nation. Independence Day parade. We have in the middle of July, from the 14th to the 15th, we have the Friends of Charity Auto Fair in Beckley. The 28th and 29th of July is the State Water Festival in Hinton. Now, I'm not real familiar with that, but I know Hinton's a good little bit of a drive, but it could still be fun. There's a hot dog festival in Huntington on the 29th of July, and then there's Mad Fest at Ridenour Lake in Nitro. Those are some great things that you can do if you're coming here and you're staying with us. Just real quick, as I finally close everything out, the Bibles and Brunch and our John 2117 project is on hiatus this week. The young lady who is doing the nutrition program is on vacation, pre-scheduled vacation. We knew that when we agreed to the program, or when we arranged the program. And then, so we just decided we'd take a Bible study and we would take a week off on that as well. So I'm going to get some things done around here. I was supposed to meet with the director of the Heart and Hand Outreach Ministry today. Our Heart and Hand is a local program with affiliated with the Methodist Church that is kind of like a Goodwill, Salvation Army kind of thing. They take donations of household goods and clothing and things, and they distribute them to the poor and the needy, and they have a shop, and I think they have a coffee shop down there. I haven't been in it yet, but I was going to meet with her to see about bringing some programs up our way to our church, and she notified me last night that there was an already arranged, and she had missed it on the schedule, a group of people coming in that she needed to meet with, some young people and some volunteers, and could we reschedule? And I said, most definitely. I have no issue with that at all. Otherwise, it's a regular routine kind of day. I've got some deposits to make downtown. I have to make the church deposit for the offerings. And I've got some errands to run and some things to do. Don't forget special promo code for podcast or broadcast listeners here. Whoever else happens to stumble upon this recording, 5% discount off your stay when you direct book. Enter the promo code podcast5, the number 5, PODCAST number 5. and you will get 5% off your discounts if you're traveling to or through West Virginia on the Interstate 6477, the West Virginia Turnpike, and you're looking for a spot to stay. Check out Holstein House. Go to robinholstein.com. Check out Holstein House on the drop-down menu, and you can either direct book or you can Airbnb. But as you've heard in this broadcast today, Airbnb is going to take a lot more of your money. It's going to take a lot more of your money. So with that, I'm going to call it a day, and I do appreciate everybody who stopped by to say hi. Please be sure to like and share, and let your friends know, and come back again. We'll be live again Friday. As far as I know, I'm still going to have a Friday live. I'm going to get that scheduled up as soon as I exit this one today. So we will talk to you again soon. Have a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.